Hi, this is Chris McSwain from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Bay Street Realty Group, and I have a real pleasure today of introducing you to Cheryl Martineau from Where Did You Get That? And there's a whole lot in this story that I'm interested for you to learn about, and Cheryl is going to introduce herself and then tell you a lot more about her business and basically why you should come here. Cheryl, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I've been living in Beaufort for the last 3 years. We moved here from Fairhope, Alabama, and I found this area strictly by the last job I had. I was on assignment and ended up being grounded because of a hurricane, and I just loved the area so much. When I went home, told the husband we need to take a road trip, and the rest is history. We landed here. At that time, I had a corporate job that I loved very much. However, it was becoming more and more demanding with travel, and it was not something that I felt I wanted to continue to pursue. So one of my very favorite hobbies or interests is shopping at consignment stores and thrift stores. And lo and behold, talked to the husband about it, and as he is a business broker, he works with Sunbelt Business Brokers, and he was able to find that Where'd You Get That was actually on the market. And the rest is history. We ended up purchasing the business as well as the building, and throughout the course of time, we've just made little tweaks. We've really never changed the process of how things are consigned. Uh, we have just tweaked it up a little bit, and what we typically do is consign home goods, furnishings, and women's clothing and accessories. And what I have found is that the ladies in Beaufort and Sun City and Bluffton just love to come to the store to shop, see what kind of treasures they can find along the way, and maybe pack up a nice big bag of clothes that in retail would be quite expensive. Okay, so what I found that works for us is that we are taking more upscale type clothing and clothing that is comfortable for the everyday lifestyle here in Beaufort.
Well, for those who know me, you may have wondered, well, Chris, how did you come into a consignment store? And it really starts with my neighbor. I was in her home, and my wife and I visiting, and I said, "Where did you get that?" And she goes, "Where did you get that?" And I'm like, of course, there's a little bit of a humor in that. But the items were beautiful, and I said, "Well, I have to learn more because I've never known a consignment shop to have that quality and basically high-end items that I saw in her home." And I've come here and had the pleasure of meeting Cheryl, and I highly encourage you to come and be as curious as I was and find out more about what's here. You have the shop really divided up into three categories. Could you say more about what those are?
Yeah, so the first category is with women's clothing, and we've expanded it, and future plans are to expand it even further, and it's been very, very successful. The second category is home goods. People bring in items they no longer want or need, and customers come in and just peruse and look at the store and just see how things are displayed, and they love it. The third category is home furniture. And what I found there is that we have an eclectic collection of furniture. We ranges from the very casual to very modern, traditional, and even some antiques. As you can see behind me, we've got this beautiful piece here that is from the turn of the century, and it's been here a while. We love it as a display, but it is for sale. Anyway, that gives you the idea of the types of things that we have. You'll also see when you enter the store that the walls have a various collection of wall hangings and decor, different style pictures that people love to look at to, just jazz up their house and make it their own.
Well, I have been so impressed as I've walked around. I've taken some pictures. You'll see that on the blog. these are just not the items that you would find on Facebook Marketplace or next door. These are really very nice pieces that were, thousands of dollars brand new that are lightly used that are in the store for a fraction of the original cost. So it's a great value, and it's a wide diversity. That's the thing that I'm really amazed at, Cheryl. As I walk around the store, there is such an array of different items that you and your customers and clients have brought together here. So congratulations.
Thank you. And I owe a lot of this to my staff. My staff, they're just so essential to the success of the store. They're, as you mentioned, one of your neighbors is the neighbor that you visited. Excuse me, is an employee of mine, and she has a background in interior design. And then I have another employee with the same type of background who also owned her own business, her own store, and she has great ideas on furniture position, that kind of thing. And then everyone else, they just love to decorate. They love to take care of the customers that come in to the store to consign their items. And we just find that it's just a great mix, a great group of people to work with, and I'm just so blessed to have them. There are some of them who stayed on from the previous owner, which I was so appreciative of because they were just ever so helpful.
Nice.
But the rest of it is, it all just works like clockwork.
Well, nobody wants a hurricane, but I'm glad one got you here and kept you here. But, I'm curious, being an entrepreneur and a small business owner is really tough. And, when I say listen to your story, I'm just taken back a little bit about, you really started off as a bit of a hobby and an interest in just going and visiting consignment stores. How does it feel to see that turn into this full business and very successful offering that you have?
Thank you. I it's just hard to explain. I mean, sometimes I come in here and I shake my head. I say, I can't believe I own this, But again, I owe a lot of it to the girls who work here because it could never be done by one person. The store evolves every week, every day. There's a change. We change the layout of the store. We add new things and pops of color, put things together that are a surprise to customers. Sometimes we may have just a simple chair and then pair it with a couch that somebody may not think that this would work together, and then surprise. It just looks great and gives people ideas for their own home decor and decorating. And I just feel so blessed to have all of this around me.
Well, and your word's getting out because I know that you have people that are coming from fairly far away to visit. And tell me about how far people come and what they enjoy when they come in.
Yes, I've had people come from North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Georgia, all kinds of places. And then there was even a customer who came here because she was on a plane coming back from a trip. She was on a plane out of Atlanta coming to Savannah, and her seatmate told her about the store, and she made a point just to come here.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have been in a few consignment stores through the years. Never one as nice as this. So it really does make an impression as soon as you walk in, and certainly as you have walked around, you don't leave not having noticed the same thing. Like, this is really unique. Tell me about the customers that you have. I'm sure there's a diversity of customers. Tell me more about the people who walk in.
Oh my gosh, I just love our customers. They're just so awesome. They just range from every socioeconomic group that you could think of. It's just, there's something here for everybody. They're just happy. It's a happy place. We have music here, water. If you're thirsty, just have to ask for it. It's just a nice place to visit. A lot of ladies will bring their husbands, and the husbands will sit and maybe read a magazine that's here in the store, and while their wives shop, and they just enjoy the day.
Have you ever heard a customer talk about how good it makes them feel to know that they have brought something in to be consigned and that it's actually being purchased by someone in our local community that's going to enjoy it.
That just happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. There was a customer that consigned a sofa, and we priced it appropriately, and it sold. She happened to come in, and lo and behold, there was a check waiting for her. She was
Nice.
extremely happy, and she made a point of coming to me, thanking me, and just expressed her gratitude that we were able to sell the couch for her.
Well, speaking of thanks, have you won some awards recently?
That's correct. We won Best of Consignment Store. It's slash thrift. They don't delineate the two for 2024, and we came in second for Best Furniture Store. So I'm really happy about that. And then we're just going to try it again for 2025.
Nice. Well, I'm going to ask, has anything come in that you just said, I want that for myself?
Oh my gosh, yes, I do. I think we all do it. We find something, and I'll just wait. And I just want to say, as a little caveat, I don't price things that I know I might want. I want to make sure that the customers have a fair shake and, what they're consigning. I think about this, and I put it out there all the time. These items that come to the store, whether it be clothing, home goods, accessories, or furniture, are items the customer no longer wants or needs. So we're just trying to make sure that we can get it sold for them. So we put a price point on it that I think the Beaufort market will bear, and we hope for the best. We do place price improvements on items. Everything will be reduced at some point if we find that it's not selling. Having said that, the items that we receive in the store range from a simple vase or just coffee mugs all the way up to pieces that come from Tibet that are 200 years old. It's just amazing what comes to us. Yeah, we're just so thankful for our customers. They're the lifeblood of this business. This is a consignment store. Everything in this store is owned by somebody else, and they're trusting us to get it sold for them.
Well, the comment about Tibet has piqued my interest. What would you say is the most interesting piece that's come through the store so far?
Oh my gosh, we've had some really wonderful things. I think this is really interesting because it came from a plantation in Beaufort, and the story that I heard about it was that it's made in such a way that the entire piece, it's like a puzzle. The top comes off, the sides come off, and the story is when the owners of the piece of furniture needed to move, they could take it apart and put it on their carriage and move it someplace else. So this is really a unique piece. Some other things that we've had are swords from around the world, from Japan. We've got some beautiful, what do I want to call them, wall panels that have been in a person's family for many, many years, and they've just decided it's time to let it go. Yeah, you get some beautiful silver, monogram silver, flatware. Very interesting.
Well, just what's in front of me as we're doing this interview is really beautiful and interesting too. I'm attracted to all of it. What are some of the hours that people can come and visit? I think you're open 6 days a week.
We are. We're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5. We accept the ladies' clothing articles Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 4:30. We do not accept any consignments at all on Tuesdays because that just gives us time to regroup and make sure that everything is priced appropriately and items are placed where we think that they would be marketable. And home goods are accepted every day of the week except for Tuesdays.
Okay. Well, Cheryl, I'm so grateful for the time to get to know you better and to be able to have you tell your story to the audience here. One last comment that I'll make is my visual sort of observation is the diversity of color that's in the store. It is a bright and cheerful place. All the items have many colors that are all built in that are really just so attractive. It draws you in to want to go over and look at that piece and maybe understand a little bit about what that artist was thinking, if it was an art piece or the clothing is just so attractive to me. I'm really happy for you to have such a great offering for the community.
Thank you, Chris. So, what Chris mentioned, the store is bright and cheerful right now because we're in the spring season. So, when we're looking at items, whether it be clothing or home goods, we just make sure that, it's season appropriate. So you'll see that from here through the end of August, we'll have those bright, cheerful, sunny colors. And then come August, we'll be thinking about fall, and it's just amazing to me how things just progress. They just transition on their own. Sometimes I don't even have to say it; it just occurs. So you'll find that we are season appropriate, and yeah, it does give the store that extra flair, for being a cheerful spot for the summer and spring, and in fall it's warm and cozy, and then we move into Christmas season, Hanukkah. It just transforms itself, becomes a winter wonderland.
Well, I'm going to go back to some of the first part of your story and personally give thanks to your husband. He found the right place for you, and I'm so happy for you and him to see part of your dream come true here in the Low Country. Cheryl, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your kind words.
All right.